Hey guys, it's early morning, not good lighting, and I'm up probably because of all of the excess anxiety that not having election results brings people. It's now Saturday morning. We don't have results from four key battleground states. Five, if you look at some news outlets that won't call Arizona. But, uh, you know, there's a lot to address out there. I could I could make videos, but I feel like it's like whack-a-mole on conveyor belts. There's so much misinformation out there. Um, yeah. So, I'm just going to address two things, both from the perspective of a response to a Robert Wallace video called Violitical Polence. And really, in the beginning of his video, it was really a gish gallop of just a shotgun spray of different conspiracy theories about voter fraud, right? So I just want to address those that I have been able to follow up on myself. There are many other things that he said. Probably other people could address them, but, you know, I feel like in his video it was a pretty good cross section of what I've seen on Twitter from a whole bunch of other people. What I've seen on Parler from Sargon of Akkad, or as some people are calling him now, Suspended of Akkad. Um, so, what I'll address is, as a former polling place coordinator myself, I know that this is something that has to happen with the county clerk and recorder, especially with mail-in ballots. There is this thing where they have to cure a ballot if the person just wrote a little line in the bubble instead of filling in the bubble, because they use a machine, a Scantron machine, to read all of the ballots to do really quick vote counts. Otherwise, there'd be a lot more human error, and it would take a lot longer, right? If we didn't use machines to count the ballots. So there's video of this curing of the ballots, because there are a lot of people out there too stupid to fill in the circles, just like there's a picture on the ballot saying do it this way, and people are like, nope, just slash slash slash, or check check check, right? And if it's not dark enough to be read by the Scantron, then somebody has to go in and make sure that those things are dark enough for the Scantron to read. There's video of people doing this, right? And this is from probably every election, but this election, it's even worse, because so many people signed up to be polling place poll watchers, and they're showing up, and these people that are filling these things in, they're not trying to hide it. They've got multiple cameras on them, right? Just darkening people's already placed marks, but the marks aren't dark enough, right? And there's always two people, one person seeing what's going on, and making sure that that person isn't adding extra votes. But pulled out from afar, where you can't see the initial mark, those videos can be used to say, oh well, look, they're marking on ballots, and you can't see the marks, the little pen line, on the ballot when the camera's pulled out. If they were to just zoom in to like like this close to their fingers, which your camera has a zoom on it on your phone. If you're using a video camera, just zoom the fuck in. You'd see that there was marks already there, right? Here's the thing. One political party is especially bad at following directions. Just imagine the same sort of people who refuse to wear masks are probably the same sort of people that refuse to fill in their circles all the way, right? If we were to take the ballots that didn't fill the circles in all the way, but just, put little check marks in those little bubbles, if we were to take those ballots and then disqualify them for not following the rules of how to vote, people would be up in arms a lot more, right? What we're trying to do is save the ballots of those people who are unable to follow voting instructions all the way. They at least made a mark, right? They didn't follow the instructions all the way. We're not looking for ways to disenfranchise people. That's one side of the fence here is looking for every different reason to disenfranchise people. But if they got their way at this juncture, if they were to say no one should ever touch somebody else's ballot with a pen or a Sharpie, if they got their way with that, we would have to invalidate a lot of votes for not coming in properly. Right? We don't want to do that. We want as many people to be able to vote as possible, even if they have difficulty following instructions and understanding the process. So that's my explanation for pretty much every video that you see of people marking on ballots when there's a whole bunch of people around. And, there's, especially when you see a team of two and then you see that circle getting darkened, it's not because there wasn't a mark there before. They're not changing anyone's vote. They're just trying to get their vote to count. Right? If you don't believe me, here's my invitation to you. In 2022, sign up to be a polling place worker. You'll get trained. You get training. You get pay. There's paid positions for this, right? I got paid. I'm not going to say it was good pay versus my wage now, but if you're flipping burgers, it's better pay than that. So yeah, another thing that was brought up by Robert Wallace was how is it that Trump can command these very large crowds to arrive at every rally when Biden can't even have 100 people and 50 of them are his campaign staff and the media. That's the way he put it. First, people on the left realize that we're in a pandemic. Second, Joe Biden realizes that we're in a pandemic and won't hold rallies the same way that Trump will. He won't invite people the same way that Trump will to be unsafe. This was also the downfall of Bernie Sanders' campaign because he relied largely on rallies like that. But also, here's the fallacy here, is that this is not just a popularity contest here. That if one person can draw bigger rallies, he's more likely to get more votes. Because it's not that Joe Biden is popular with people. Joe Biden at this point, on Saturday, November 7th, 2020, Joe Biden has so far 74 million votes. And a lot of those votes, even though it's a record-breaking number as far as votes for a president, a lot of those votes are not Joe Biden votes. They're anti-Trump votes. Trump is largely running against himself. You know, Joe Biden doesn't have to have large crowds if what he's actually running on is I'm not Trump. Trump is that bad. That bad. And I'll say to any of you that were Trump supporters, maybe in the last 4 years, because that was, the guy on the right, he won, so you had to support him. If in retrospect you want to disavow yourself from Trump, but keep with your conservative principles, I can respect that. Because I don't even see Trump as the bastion of conservative principles. I don't see, I'm not going to hold you guys to having to defend Trump in the next 4 years. Okay? I will listen to you, figure out, where you actually stand on an issue, and debate that with you. But, nobody should be put in a position to have to defend Trump for anything, because he's really indefensible at this point. But yeah, there is an actual strategy that I feel has been employed by Biden, in that you don't see a lot of signage for Biden in communities that are split. If it's a far left community, you're going to see signs, bumper stickers, and flags, right? They're not spending a lot of money on physical campaigning. There was a lot of digital campaigning where it's targeted towards individuals in a way where they can not have their ads show up in front of Trump supporters, because the strategy is to not be visible to Trump supporters, to not make them think, oh shit, I better vote to cancel out somebody else's vote, This is the same strategy that Hillary Clinton used. I wish they would figure out a better strategy, but the strategy is, if all the left people see is Trump signs, it's going to scare the fuck out of them and get them to vote, right? They don't want to give the opposite side the same sort of scared into voting feeling, so they don't put out as many yard signs or bumper stickers or flags or stickers or anything. So that's why you don't see it. They raised far more money than Trump did, right? I'm not too up on the numbers here, but just they raised a hell of a lot of money late in the game on the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, right? Money went flying over the wires towards a whole bunch of candidates, and not a lot of that money was spent on yard signs. It was all digital ads that were targeted to specific people that they felt were not likely to be scared into voting for Trump by those ads. They just wanted to only be seen by one side. So, if you are thinking that, Trump being able to have large amounts of people all visit him at his rallies is the sign of how popular a candidate is and whether or not they should win, you are mistaken. Us on the left are afraid of the Rona. We don't want to get it from each other. And there's a strategy being employed here, right? I don't like to be, the recipient of such sort of tactics. I don't like to be tricked, but I see it as, you know, it's a strategy. They're doing it. I don't know that it works. I don't know that it would have worked better if they had more yard signs, or if they had purchased T-shirts and sent them in the mail to everyone. They raised so much money, so much money. They could have spent it on a lot of things, you know. And to think that in some races, candidates got, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they still lost. If they spent all that money on digital ads, they might as well have just set that money on fire, because $100 million could have bought a whole bunch of T-shirts for the poor, for the needy. Could have bought a whole bunch of, something else. We sure do throw a lot of money at our elections, don't we? Anyways, that's it for this morning's ramble. I'm still waiting on the results, and after we get them, we can see just how wildly off that I was. So far, I think I might have been the furthest off of any person's prediction as far as what the actual numbers will be. But we need to see what the numbers will be first, so I can tell you guys how far off I was in the Electoral College count. And I'll own up to it. I will. It's all good fun. Talk to you guys later.